Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Big Pop Theory podcast. Bash and Berlin prediction show. They're going to be out there in the Uber Arena. I want to make sure I got this right. Uber Arena in Berlin, German, tomorrow. And we want to add some predictions here. Oh, I should probably remove this thing here real quick. Give me 1 second here, folks. Yeah, let's remove that. So you can see who your host is, see who your panel is. I'm one of your hosts, the Great Grand Slam. Pooba, I ain't feeling so Grand Slam. Got a little bit of a cold, but I wanted to talk about Bash in Berlin with my boys, the Pop Boys. I got Jean Baptiste. He's in the house. And we got the smartest man in the room, Rich Kings. Gentlemen, how are you guys?
Amazing.
Feeling great. It's a Friday. It's a 3-day weekend. Pray to enjoy, drink, and have a great time.
There you go. I'm sorry. I should probably remove myself off air when I'm doing that because I don't want to discuss people. But guys, Bash in Berlin, we got 5 matches. Is there any, before we break in and give our predictions for these matches, is there any match that you guys are really looking forward to?
The Terror Twins and Dom and Liv Morgan.
What about you, Rich Kings?
Gunther versus Orton.
Ooh, so okay. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on what makes y'all interested in that. So, Jean Baptiste, you said you are interested in the Terrible Two going against Dominik and Liv. So, what is your interest in that match?
Damian Priest has stepped his game up since his at the beginning of the rivalry with Gunther. I don't know. I think I saw a different side of him in that rivalry with Gunther, where it's like, I'm not going to be one of those guys you can just walk all over and talk shit to, and I'm not going to punch you in the mouth. And I'm becoming a fan of Damian Priest. I've really been enjoying his work. This babyface run has started off very solid, very dope. One of the coolest things I've seen over the past few weeks is when he caught Dominik Mysterio mid-hug for a freaking chokeslam, and I'm just like, all right, that was kind of awesome. I can't deny it. So I'm looking forward to this match because actually it's developed into one hell of a grudge match.
How do you feel about that stuff? And then what is your I'm interested in hearing you said you was interested in Randy Orton and Gunther. So what are your thoughts about that, Rich King?
Yeah, I think like obviously the first match they had playing off of that, and it played well into the story with Randy and Gunther, the storytelling, they both have good in-ring presence, and I think that it's a great first solid defense for Gunther on the main event platform. So I think that I'm just more interested in the storytelling they're going to have in the match, and I think Gunther is like one of my favorites right now. So I just love seeing him wrestle.
Honestly, Gunther is pretty much you. Like, Gunther cracks me up. I mean, Gunther's new thing now is he'll get personal and say things like, your grandfather was a disappointment. Your father was like Gunther was never doing stuff like that. He would just beat you in the ring, but now he's calling people street rat and you're poor. It's actually kind of hilarious seeing the evolution of Gunther, if you will. And I do agree with that part, what you said there about Randy Orton being a great opponent, first opponent for Gunther, right? I mean, Randy Orton is very much established. He is someone that you don't sneeze at, right? Like just. Can we all agree? First ballot Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned about the storyline, and I like how you both got something. Well, these are both raw. This is technically both raw storylines here, right? But you mentioned about the Tibble twins going against Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan, and that story has been really taking a life of its own on Raw. Like it's the #1 story going on here. So I did real quick though before we break down everything and stuff. I want to give a shout out to.
Say.
Okay,
I don't know because that's a good story. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk have been killing it with their story. Randy Orton and Gunther, the continuity is kind of what makes that story somewhat amazing because we're not gonna forget that whole King of the Ring tournament to begin with. So. It's just amazing storytelling going on right now, and I'm here for it.
I'm glad that you touched on that, and I think that's the thing about the storyline about Randy and Gunther, right? Like, it's great that he has a great opponent to go against, but to go back and go like they touched back on that, and I actually not to say I thought they forgot about it. They mentioned it at the King and Queen of the Ring about how his shoulders was never down, but they never followed up. And I thought that they would have done that at the pay-per-view after was Money in the Bank, right? So I thought they would have kind of touched back on that at Money in the Bank. They didn't. And then SummerSlam passed, and it was like, okay, when we're going to do it. So for them to come back here and do it at Bash of Berlin, I think it's fantastic. But real quick here, shout out to George Lewis. He's always the first in the chat. I do the NXT show on UBR. He's always the first one. And it starts off like this. What's up, everybody? He's letting us know that he's not watching SmackDown. It is taped right now as I'm looking up. We have Ludwig against LA Knight. Yeah. He wanted to inform me that he told me that Julia is going to be at NXT No Mercy this Sunday, possibly to confront Roxanne Perez. I see that 100%. Liv Morgan, I guess this is the match that he's looking forward to. Liv Morgan and Dom against the Tibble twins. We know how it's going to end. And then he also,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Once Damian is done with Finn, Damian is going to get his rematch down the road. And he said he also wanted to let us know Randy did sign a multi-year. I think it's a 10-year thing because I think it goes until he's like 50. Because what's Randy, like 42, 43? But it looked like he's going to be here until he's 50. So
yeah, pretty much.
Good for him. I think Randy's in the best shape of his life. I mean, he's like a juggernaut, right? Like he's just so massive. So yeah, good for him. But let's break down. Let's go into this because we could sit here and talk for a while. Bash of Berlin once again. And the Uber Arena. It's a hell of a name. I can remember that because I always take an Uber. Uber's fantastic. But why don't we start here? So why don't we start with this match? This was the match that you said you was looking forward to, Jean Baptiste. And I'm going to give you the floor first here. So we have Dom Mysterio with his lady, Liv Morgan, going against the Terror 2. And, why don't I give you the floor here first? Who do you got here? You're smiling. Are you excited about this match, or are you just like, what do you like more? The Terror 2 or the Tibble twins?
The Tibble twins got me cracking. It's now going to live rent free in my head every time I look at them.
Can I say real quick before I give you the floor? I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir. Someone on Twitter wrote, "How are they twins?" and they point out the age difference behind. I thought that was so funny. I wish I had the picture. I don't have it, but I think they're like, because he's 40, she's like 20, he's like 47, she's 27 or something like that. And they're like, how are they twins? They're not even the same age. I thought it was hilarious. But what do you got here, Jean Baptiste? What do you got for this match? How do you
the Terror Twins? The Terror Twins are winning this. This is Rhea Ripley's chance to get her hands on Liv Morgan. Like this is definitely just one match in the long run because this is not going to settle anything because we all know that Damian's actual target is Finn Balor. That's his end game. But at this point, they both need a win because they both suffered a loss at the hands because of the Judgment Day at SummerSlam. And yeah, this is definitely a win for them. I expect to see Carlito and Finn get involved, but they're probably just going to dominate every last one of them like they've been doing for the last couple of weeks.
I love it. You feel uncomfortable with that word tonight. I feel you, dude.
Dominant.
Rich King, smartest man in the room, sir.
Highest wrestling IQ of all time.
I know, right? Like this guy is just a genius right here, right now. I'm sorry, because I do feel bad because like you have a nickname here. We call you the Usius Haitian, so I wanted to make sure we got that across here, Jean Baptiste. But smartest man in the room, what do you got here?
I have the opposite. I do think that Liv Morgan and Dom is actually going to win this match. I just don't see how Judgement Day will allow them to lose the match. I think this is what keeps the feud going, right? So, to your point, right, this is one of those feuds on Raw that's been going on for a little while, and I think it has to take a different angle. I don't know what angle it's going to take, but I don't see Dom and Liv Morgan actually losing to Rhea and Damian Priest. So one of the main reasons I see that not happening because I think they have to keep like Liv like kind of like fresh and like this kind of bad ego kind of character. Like remember, like was it last year? Was it no last year? 2 years ago when she beat Shayna Baszler? We're like she has no business doing this, right? So I think how can we protect her character by having her beat Rhea Ripley? So whether it's like somebody interfering or her getting a pin, I do think that she gets the pin over Rhea, and it goes that. I think that's where it ends. But it has to be some kind of type of interference that we're not seeing. but I don't think that the Temple Twins, the Terror Twins, the whatever you want to call them, they ain't winning.
Let me ask you this.
I love that he's on.
What
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
What if Dom was to take the finisher and eat the pin? That still kind of protects Liv Morgan in the long run, and that's just one small stepping stone for Damian Priest. Because Rhea Ripley does have a squad to settle with Dom as well.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I think that when it comes down to Liv, right? I think that's how they kind of butter in the past. You know, even going back to the days when she was with what's that group there? She was those little the three of them was her
The Riot Squad.
The Riot Squad, right? It was almost like I wouldn't say she was the weakest link, but it's almost like she wasn't the main character, obviously, right? So I feel like they're trying to push her into a different direction. And how do you push her into a different direction by her getting that win? So yeah, even though Dom is the pin, how do you still push this character that we have here? See, I don't think they want like a Carmella 2.0 or something like that. Like, I don't think they want this championship to be like a hit and run. I think there has to be some kind of validity behind it. So I do think that she's actually going to pin Rhea Ripley tomorrow night.
Yeah, I do want to go and say I agree with Rich Kings. I do see the Hills going over, and I go with this. I thought you made some really great points, but I also go with this. And real quick, hey Patrick, we see you in the chat. What's going on, Full Nelson, Patrick? Full Nelson. We wanted to make sure that he knows that he is seen. But I agree with that. I agree that the Judgment Day go over, and I also think that they need to get that win. I mean, this is a new version of the Judgment Day, and I think they need to establish like, hey, we're a new Judgment Day, and we're stronger without you guys. I believe at the end of the day, the end of the story, right, with Rhea and Liv, Rhea's taking that championship off Liv. That's going to happen. But I think you need to chase it a little bit more and have her look like. So, okay, I thought you made some great points here, but I wanted to see if I could keep up here with you. So, since Liv been with the Judgment Day, Finn and JD won the tag team championships. Also, this is a really interesting fact here. Since Liv have been with Dom has beaten Rey Mysterio twice. He couldn't do that with Rhea. So I think you just want to keep that going, making it look like, I don't want to say like she's a lucky charm or anything like that, but like, hey, we're better without you guys. And it doesn't hurt them. Because at the end of the day, Damian's going to get his revenge. Rhea's going to get his revenge. Her revenge, I apologize. But I don't think we have to give it to him right away. So I got to go with them taking the dub here.
I do agree because I think that
I can agree to that. But only reason why I say it's not because revenge is not settled. The score isn't settled. Score isn't going to be settled until Rhea gets a title back. And for Damian, he wants Finn Balor. Like right. Dom is just a stepping stone. Like he doesn't care for Dom. Dom is just one of those. I'm only here because you fucked over Rhea. But Finn is my actual target. Finn costed me the title. But I'm gonna get my edge on him.
If I can add a little bit more here, right? So think about this. You said Dom is not like he's not on Damian's radar, right? But I go with this. Think about this. Now, I don't know who's going to eat the pin, but think about this. Damian gets another loss because Finn screws him. I don't know if he's going to be there, but I'm just going to make the assumption that he's there. Finn screws him again. That add more fire to this feud. Every time where Damian, because one of the things Finn said, when you feel safe, that's when I strike. And Damian's not going to be thinking about Finn in this match. Finn tacks. Somehow he screws over Damian again. And it just makes this to add more fire to this feud and makes it more of a blood feud. And that's, some pieces I think on what you can do here. Because you're right. Because you could. So the Timber Twins could win and Judgment Day still want to go on. But I think you want to keep it going with the Hills going on. Real quick here. Great points for both gentlemen here. But George says, keep Liv strong by having Dom eat the pin. He also says, Khalito and JD are punching bags. I don't even know where that came from, but he just wanted to throw it out there. Good job, George.
No, they have been. Like, Carlito and JD have been taking the blood of the two.
Honestly, they are. So you remember the NWO had like 92 members, right? And if you think about the 92 members, half of them, half the time, Vincent was the one getting his ass kicked. My mother's giving me a call. Hold up. I'm gonna pause that for a minute. But Patrick says, I don't feel bad for Rhea. She's getting calmer for almost 2 years. I still like he still likes Rhea. And I agree. Like, they try to act like they are the victims, but they have done a lot of foul stuff. I mean, when you think about, I was telling Gene this, so I'm interested in hearing your part about this, Rich King. So we chatted, I want to say this week, right, Gene? And when we were talking, I was like, well, Damian was kind of a jerk when he said, I don't need the Judgment Day. They need me. Don't that sound like a jerk thing, Rich King?
So it sounds like a jerk thing, but it also seems very inaccurate. Like, what was Damian Priest doing before the Judgment Day? Right? So, like, I don't know what he's talking about when he said they didn't need, he doesn't need them. I think that helped elevate his career, don't get me wrong. And like I said before, a few episodes before, like, Damian Priest, to me, before anything with Judgment Day, his best match was, even, I guess it's probably when he was with the Judgment Day, was his Bad Bunny match. So I don't think when I see, like when I think of Damian Priest, I don't like think of this great singles wrestler or someone that's doing something like in the company, right? I think for him, Judgment Day helped propel him, which is nothing wrong. But to your point earlier, you said a few minutes ago, they did so much bad things. I don't feel bad for them. Like, they betrayed Edge, right? They did all these things. They took Judgment Day from him. So at the end of the day,
if I can add, they knew he was going to go to AEW, so they just wanted to get it out of the way.
They knew they signed Tony Coke. But you know what? The evolution of Damian Priest, I would say, I would agree with Rich King. Before Judgment Day, he wasn't anything special, but he definitely has evolved and has come so far. I want to say, no, we shouldn't feel bad for them, but then you got to look at the fact, what makes Finn and Dom any better? Like, let's be honest, you all benefited. Every one of them benefited from it. I think when Damian became champion, it kind of showed that these guys.
I don't agree with that because Dom was doing something with his father before. Dom had so much heel heat in general when he betrayed Ray, and Finn Balor was just already a star before the Judgment Day. Maybe the star kind of flickered a little bit, but he was still in main events doing singles matches back and forth from NXT. You could put Finn Balor on any kind of brand right now, and you could put him in a match, and it's going to be great. I'm not sure if you could put Damian Priest against anybody, and it's going to be great. It might be good, it might be but it might not be great.
You know what? I almost have to disagree because even I myself, if we can go back a few episodes where I said this with my own mouth. I said Damian Priest versus Gunther on paper ain't gonna happen. It's not something that looks amazing to me. And that feud ended up he proved me wrong. He proved me completely wrong. The feud was amazing. The match was really solid. I give him credit where credit is due. And I had to really eat my words on that because I really thought that match was going to be garbage. I thought Damian Priest, get him out of here. You ain't nobody special, but he proved me wrong.
No, so, I agree. He has evolved. I agree with you. He has evolved. But to your point, you said earlier that what were they before Judgment Day? You can't say that about Finn Balor. Before Judgment Day, he was in the main event. He did have the heavyweight title. He was a main character in NXT. When he returned, when he had that thing against the Undisputed Era against the guy.
That was Johnny Gargano. Yeah.
It was a pop. People like Finn Balor. So at the end of the day,
people love Finn.
What he was doing before the Judgment Day is not the same what Damian Priest is doing. So for him to say he doesn't need them, he probably doesn't need them now, but he damn sure needed them 2 years ago.
2 years ago, definitely. When he won the world title, probably not as much. Maybe. I'll say maybe. I'll go with a strong maybe. Because again, like his championship run up until Gunther wasn't really anything special. Like I have to really incline to agree. Up until Gunther, that championship run wasn't anything special.
I'll sit here and go with this, and then we'll move on to the next match. I think he did his job well because his whole role, I guess, was to be, hey, I'm the world champion, but I need help. But he how do I word this? So I feel like when they made him the champion, he wasn't that unstoppable champion like Gunther. He was the champion where it looked like he won by the hair of his skin. Is that the term? And I think he did his role well. I think he's a pretty good wrestler. I think he does well with that. I'm not going to sit here and go like, hey, he's in the top 5 heavyweight champions of all time. I can't go with that. But I think he does, like, when he goes out there, he's able to execute what he needs to do. And I think he does a pretty decent job at that. And with that being said, we'll move to the next match here. It's not fair, gentlemen. But the next match here we have for the women's tag team championship, we have the Unholy Alliance, Alba Fire and Al-Ladon going against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. We started with Eugene Baptiste, but we're going to give it to Rich Kings. Who do you got for this match?
I'll go back and forth with this, or either way with this match. To me, my brain has said it does not make sense for Belair and Jade to lose, even though they have this. I don't know. I want to say this little competition, whatever they got going on backstage and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna pick Jade Cargill and Bianca. I'm gonna just make up my mind now. I feel that they should win. I think that I don't want to see that feud happening right now. You want to see that probably towards leading up to WrestleMania or after WrestleMania of next year. So I think that they do win it now and in convincing fashion because they should be dominating this women's division. There shouldn't be anybody to them right now, right? Even though this is a solid team, don't get me wrong. And I think they have great chemistry, but I do think that at the end of the day, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair should just wipe the floor against this team transparently.
I'll take the floor here next. Because I agree. I can't see how they could beat them. I just can't. Now, if there's some interference, but even then, I can't see Jade Cargill getting pinned. I don't think they want to do that right away. And I can't see Bianca. And, one of the things that came in my head here, right? If I could just. So you mentioned about the feud. And when you said that, you're talking about Bianca and Jade, correct? So one of my things that came to my head is, well, what if something happened, they do lose, and then Jade turns on Bianca? But I do agree. I'm like, do you do that right now? And I don't think you do that right now. But I do agree. I can't envision them losing at all. I think it would be wild if they lost. So
they might lose. They lost the first time, right? So
but look how they lost though. But look how they lost though. When they did lose, they didn't get pinned. That's the thing for me right here. Like, I can't see them getting pinned. They had another team in there to eat the fall, and that was what was able to make the championship transfer to the Unholy Alliance.
I believe they might lose. They might lose this one. I seriously think they might lose this one because you say I get it. Everybody says you can't see Jade and Bianca getting pinned, but if they do get pinned, I'm not saying the feud starts now, but you plant the seeds. Like right now, they've been teasing Austin Theory and Grayson Waller splitting for a while, and we know how Triple H likes to cook these stories. You can plant the seeds now and lead it to where they might win the tag team titles again down the line, but lose it again. Like the one thing I can see Jade Cargill taking a pin on is the fact that she's inexperienced. I think we're all forgetting she still had a lot of inexperience on the main roster, which is why she's with Bianca Belair in the first place. That can already plant the seeds of doubt, and we've already seen Bianca show some heelish tactics or heelish tendencies when Bayley showed back up. So there is a way to maneuver it. Do I want Olive Garden and Alba Fire to win? Absolutely not. The tag team title win was a great feel-good moment, but it hasn't been really the best tag team run. But I think they might lose. I think Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair might lose this one. There's a good chance they can.
You mentioned this, and I just wanted to touch on this a little bit. You were saying, I just wanted to make sure I heard this correct. You say Bianca has been showing heel tactics towards Bayley?
Heel tendencies. Because remember, Bayley came back as a babyface during the turn when Damage Control turned on her. Bayley's going on this My Apology tour, and Bianca wasn't having it at all. And
but I don't
we've seen that.
Can you blame her? I didn't mean to cut you off here, sir. But so when you said that, I just wanted to be sure because I don't think that's heel tendencies. I think that's you've done me dirty for the last 2 years. I'm not just going to forgive you. I think that's actually a human reaction. Sometimes in wrestling, they'll do like Stone. Okay, can I use this as an example here? Stone Cold got ran over, right? And then he teamed up with Triple H 2 years later. Like, this man set you up, and then y'all teamed up with each other. All I'm saying is she had all the right in the world to be like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. You and your little faction gave me hell. You guys have made my life miserable. Every time I turn around.
Absolutely. You're right. But you know what? Who else has that happened to? And he became a complete heel.
What? I just want to say real quick, Apollo Crews is on TV, and I have to say this. Oh shit, it's Apollo Crews. But go ahead.
This has happened already with one of the males. Let's not forget the Drew McIntyre incident. Jey Uso came back away from the bloodline, trying to do his own thing. Drew wasn't forgiving any of that crap, and he became a full-blown heel because of it. Even though he had a proper reason for it, doesn't change the fact that he turned heel. Same thing with Bianca Belair. Bayley got turned on. Here's Bayley going on this apology tour. No, I don't have to forgive you. But those heel tendencies, those seeds have already been planted because Drew went through the same exact thing.
But then just because
I think it was time for Drew to turn heel. Who was it? Sorry, go on.
Right. No, I was just going to simply say, take the floor here. I was just going to say, just because that was for Drew, don't mean that had to go. Like, each character don't have to do that same, like, arc, you know what I mean? Like,
they don't. But it's just just the seeds being planted in there. Like the one thing that this era of Trips is doing is foreshadowing, and just that small foreshadow alone just shows where the heel tendency can be in Bianca. Like, of all people to turn, probably Bianca would have a better chance of turning than Jade Cargill because, again, Jade Cargill's still inexperienced.
What do you think about this, Rich King? I know you want to add some thoughts, and I apologize for cutting you off. What do you got here, sir?
No, I agree with what you were just about to say. I was about to say the same thing. Like, it doesn't have to be Bianca's story, but I will be intrigued to see Bianca as a heel, right? Because I do think that what can she do as a heel? Like, and right now, looking at the current landscape of the championship, right? Let's just say that we move on after WrestleMania. Let's fast forward. I mean, who's going to be the face? Who's going to be a heel? Like, we want that storyline and stuff like that. So I do think it'll be great for her. But I do think that at the end of the day, they should be winning this match tomorrow. And I think maybe those seeds get started playing at maybe Royal Rumble or the pay-per-view after that. And that could lead up to WrestleMania. Or they might have to wait till even next year at SummerSlam. Who knows what Triple H wants to do. But I don't think that they lose tomorrow at all. And it's just too early for that kind of storyline. I just don't think that he, like you said a few moments ago, he likes to cook. Like, what are we cooking? Popcorn? Listen.
I don't know if it's a legit question, but what are we cooking? Real quick, guys, and then we'll move to the third match here. I just want to sit here and say I've been a fan of what Triple H has been doing in this new era. I don't even know what we call it, but I've been a fan of it. I know everything, and I've talked to you a little bit, Bad Teeth. Like, we back and forth. We talk about wrestling and many other things. And I'm gonna get into the chat in a minute. I see you in the chat, George. But how I wanted to say, like, how you guys are feeling about his booking. Once again, I'm sorry. My thoughts. We talk, and I always mention, like, hey, everything is not perfect, but I really like what they have been doing. Monday Night Raw. I can't sit here and say I'm a big Bronson Reed fan, but I love that they have been giving him an opportunity, and I feel like that man has been honestly killing it. And honestly, I think I am a fan because he killed Braun Strowman when he just Rich Kings. I was watching Raw with Mom, and she saw when he climbed up the
top of the building.
And hit my mother. Where is he going? And when he jumped off, she said, "Oh no." And I really love what Bronson Reed when he did it, and it made me go like Gene Baptiste because we all played Here Come the Pain, but I said the next week he needs to do what Here Come the Pain. He needs to get on the helicopter and just fall off.
Problem is that helicopter ain't holding 400 pounds of meat. Like that helicopter's going down.
But how do you guys? He's kind of been like a tribute to Bam Bam. One match that he actually had like the flames and everything. So I'm not sure if like he's influenced by him, but he kind of gives me. George said Bronson Reed squashed Braun like a pancake. I think more like a waffle. But what do you guys think about his Triple H's booking? And then we'll get to the third match.
His booking as of right now is solid. It's absolutely solid. Like I said, look at these past couple of feuds where you look at the way it's been booked and it's like, holy crap! Like, you turned Damian Priest into a babyface that's getting pops. Look at Chad Gable and the Wyatt Six. He's been booking them very well. Shout out to Bo Dallas. Shout out to Chad Gable selling the freaking Sister Abigail is amazing. So shout out to Chad Gable. Also shout out to Bo Dallas. Like, his first match back in 2 years. And he looked really freaking good. The booking was just doing right. Like, the Wyatt Six ain't no supernatural crazy.
It's actually I just wanted to correct you real quick. It's been more than actually 2 years. It's like 5. It's been a few years. Someone was mentioning it's been like 5 years since he had a match on Raw. Bo Dallas. Uncle Howdy. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
And then you look at
my only thing about that is I wish they wasn't. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off, but my only thing is I wish that they wasn't feuding because I think American Alpha, no, what's it called? American Made. I'm sorry. I feel like they should be getting wins, and they're taking a lot of L's. But I think he's the best opponent for Bo Dallas because I agree he sells and honestly too, he said something recently about when he sells it. I don't want to say it's almost like a shout out to Bray because he said in an interview that when him and Jason Jordan was together, Bray and Randy wanted to work with them, and he never forgot that. And I guess always had like really good fond memories of him, and he just wanted to do like justice with that move. So shout out to him for that. But go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt you, sir.
You look at the booking decisions on everybody, and it's like, yo, this has been amazing, and it's not like weird booking decisions. It's booking that's furthering storylines and really making these feuds make you more invested in a lot of these feuds. Like I said, I'll repeat, I wasn't really interested in Damian Priest versus Gunther, and then you look and how they've been booked going back and forth leading up to their match at SummerSlam, and it's like, all right, maybe Damian Priest has a shot at winning because Damian Priest ain't taking no shit. Same thing even goes for Uncle Howdy and freaking Chad Gable. Just there was multiple stories going on at the same time, and the layers added on top of it, more and more layers. That like even to the recent betrayal of Ivy Nile, it's like, yo, can't say you didn't see that coming, but then again, they were friends. That definitely came out of nowhere. The Judgment Day, amazing story. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feuding over this cheap 50-cent bracelet. Like, again, you turned a 50-cent bracelet into the basis of a blood feud. Like, what? Shout out to Trips to this era because storylines are progressing very well. Even on SmackDown, the Bloodline, this Bloodline feud, I thought I'd be tired of it by now, but no, it's actually getting a lot more interesting, especially with the addition of Jacob Fatu. And I'm just like, I got to sit back and watch and see how this is all going to play out now.
What do you got here, Rich Kings?
No, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I agree. I think the bookings have been great. The storylines have been good, but the only thing I would say is that I could see being a problem maybe even currently right now is the long title reigns. So like who's beating Gunther? Who's beating Cody Rhodes?
I think Gunther's gonna have a bit of a run, but I don't know who.
He's gonna be here for a long time. Cody Rhodes is gonna be here with his belt for a while. So I don't see the only thing I maybe jumping the gun, but like besides Roman, because I think we all enjoyed Roman's era, right? Roman is Roman. But who's really gonna be beating these people moving forward? And I feel like it's gonna be long title runs for both of them. And I think that can get stale. So there might be a surprise element somewhere down the line with one of them losing. But we can't have both of them with these. But
you know, if I can piggyback on that, I think Gunther is going to have a long run, but I think Cody's going to drop it. Like I see Cody dropping it before Gunther, and if Gunther holds it for a while, I'm for Gunther doing it. But I do agree that long title runs, it has its fatigue. I mean, I'm trying to think, when did Bianca drop the title? Because she held it for a minute. Bianca. Yeah, she held it for a while. Roman held it for a while. Then, like, those were your three long steps.
Just people just like, come on, move on. Drop the title.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, I get it. Long title reigns can be stale, but it's kind of your chance to build up the undercard and actually make new main event stars. Like, Gunther holding that belt for a long period of time, you can actually build up some of these undercard guys that are really good and probably have a shot at taking them down in the long run. Like, hell, I could see Bronson Reed and Gunther, and Bronson Reed maybe taking it off Gunther if built properly. If built properly, he probably can take out Gunther in the long run.
I would. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But in the long run, like the way they've been pushing Bronson Reed to be this massive monster that's just destroying everybody in his path, him and Gunther would I could see him beating Gunther in the long run.
Let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this, and then we'll move on to the next match. So I like that you're behind Bronson. I think that's the beautiful thing about what Triple H is doing because you want to beef up your mid card division, right? I think that's very much important. But you said that I'm sorry, I said Braun Drake. I'm sorry. There's a lot of Brons here, but Bronson Reed, right? He's going to be feuding with Seth Rollins. Who do you see winning that feud?
Bronson Reed.
Oh, I don't.
Seth don't need it. Seth. You know what? You know why I say Bronson Reed? Because let's say the feud after that feud starts. I'm pretty sure by the time that feud starts, it'll be towards the tail end of CM Punk versus Drew, and I see CM Punk being the reason Seth loses that feud completely. because the main goal is to get Seth and Punk. So with Bad Blood right around the corner, and Seth probably gonna be gone till about Bad Blood. If he and Bronson feuds, I see CM Punk being the reason Seth feuds, and that story brings it right up, and it works for two different reasons. One, you finally get Punk and Seth, which is what we wanted since before Punk got hurt, and two, you just build up Bronson Reed to become a main eventer.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing at you. I was just laughing because I'm watching SmackDown, and for whatever, all you see is Jacob in the background.
I don't know why he's doing that. I saw that. I'm just like, okay, you know what? You got it. I don't know what God you're praying to, but you know what? Carry on with it.
Rich Kings, what did you think about all that? Do you agree with Jean Baptiste, and then we'll move on to the third match?
I mean, I don't agree with him. With anything he said, but I do understand what he said.
It's just y'all don't agree, and I love it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I do understand what he's saying. If that were to happen, I think it would be interesting to see. I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. So that's why I asked that question. I don't know where this person is. Maybe Jacob beats Gunther. Who knows? Maybe he goes to Raw and do something.
Maybe Jacob beats Cody.
Maybe.
I don't see them doing that right away. So like this seems so soon for, and like Jacob he's a great talent. Like I've seen him a few times out here in HOG, so he's a great talent. But I'm like, do we do that right away? I don't know who are these people?
Why do we have to wait? What is there to wait about? These people are seasoned wrestlers, right? At the end of the day, what are we waiting for? We don't want to wait for
the bill. You just said it. Jacob Fatu was amazing.
But okay, we can see when Nakamura came up to the main brand, he was amazing. Where's his world title? Nakamura, for example. So he should have won, but guess what? AJ Styles is in the way. He lost to AJ Styles 110 times. So at the end of the day, you got to be able to, when these people are like leveling up, you have to be able. What about Braun Breaker?
I think he's saying that because Braun Breaker looked like he's a future world champion.
But I'm asking George, what about Braun Breaker?
It's not towards me. He said, I can see the bloodline dropping the tag titles because of Jimmy and Roman. And he also said that Jacob is not ready to be world champion yet.
No, not like this. No, Braun's definitely not. The Braun Breaker is nowhere near ready for that.
No, he said Braun. He said Jacob.
But I do agree with this. If we're going to build these guys up to be future contenders or future main event players, maybe the lengthy title reigns ain't that bad because one, you're keeping prestige for these titles. Like you're making it special when somebody actually drops these belts to him. Like Roman held that belt for almost 4 years, and when Cody won it, it was one hell of a big deal. Gunther holding that belt for 1.5 years, almost 2 years. If that is what's going to happen, whoever beats Gunther, it's going to be something special because one, it's fucking Gunther. Gunther is no joke. You beat Gunther, you already solidified. But taking the title off of him?
When the John Cena era was happening, Jinder Mahal came and he won the belt, right? We had people like Jack Swagger win belts.
But that was years later, though.
But
right?
It doesn't. But at the end of the day, there were still people that he was still like dominant. You could still give the belt to Randy or whatever these people are, but they try to give.
You're just saying opportunity, right?
It has to matter. We gave if JBL and Eddie Guerrero could get a chance. Come on. That's all I'm saying. Come on.
It was a hell of a gamble, but you know what? Sometimes the gamble pays off with examples like JBL and Eddie Guerrero.
Both of those gambles paid off big time for both of them.
Definitely did, but it didn't pay off for Jack Swagger. It definitely didn't pay off for Ginger My Balls. It didn't pay off for Dolph Ziggler, which is kind of sad because he had the talent and charisma. There was just no injury prone. It didn't pay off for Alberto Del Rio, and it's a hot gamble. Certain times it paid off, other times
everybody. But that's why there's a reason why there's a Hall of Fame and there's people that's good, there's people that's mid. It can't pay off for everybody. So we tried moving on. Like I'm a big Trick Williams fan, right? This isn't NXT, but they thought that, hey, listen, 2 months was enough. Let's move on. And I thought he was decent.
Was it really like 2 months? And I I watched NXT, but like really was NXT? I mean,
it was like 2 months. About 2 months. It was like 2 months.
He won the belt.
I know it wasn't a super long run, but I was like, damn, it was that like
I remember he beat Dragunov. I can't remember who his other title defense. I think he had 1, 2, maybe 3 title defenses before he dropped it.
He had a few.
And
He went against Ethan. He had that fatal 4-way where he dropped it. I'm trying to think of who else that he faced. I mean, he faced a few people before. George, help me out here because I know George, he watches NXT here. But how many? Not even how many title defenses, but name some of the people that he faced. They gave him Page the title after signing on NXT, and I thought that was a bad move. Oh, okay. I think it did wonder for him, but I'll say that for my NXT thoughts. I hope to see him on Sunday when we do No Mercy. Next match here, we have a strap match. We have CM Punk going against Drew McIntyre. I'm going to take the floor here first, and then we'll give you the floor here, Jean-Baptiste. So, look, SummerSlam. At SummerSlam, Drew got the win as he should. Drew was taking a lot of L's. He lost to Damian Priest 3 times. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sick, guys. I'm doing the best I can. But he lost to Damian 3 times, which I want to say all 3 of them being because of CM Punk. So Drew getting the win there, it made sense. I felt like if he had lost to CM Punk, then this feud was done. So what I say here, I say all that to say, CM Punk is going to get his win back. This is going to be a trilogy of matches. This is going to be their second, and they're going to have a third one at Bad Blood. So I see Hell in a Cell myself, but I see CM Punk getting the W. No questions asked. Jean-Baptiste, what do you got here?
Punk wins, but he doesn't get his bracelet back. Punk, I think the feud ends when he finally gets that stupid cheap bracelet back. But Punk is definitely going to take this strap match. This is definitely a much needed win for CM Punk. But he just doesn't get the bracelet back. I see him winning the match, and when he tries to take the bracelet off, like Drew McIntyre beats his ass and keeps the bracelet, and just to continue this feud and fuck with him.
I'll go next. So I do agree. CM Punk does win this match.
I'm about to say next.
No problem. I do think CM Punk does win this match for the feud to go on. I think it probably ends at Bad Blood once for all. Not once for all, but it'll just come to a halt to there. Maybe some kind of special type of match. Maybe it's 2 or 3 falls, Hell in a Cell. Who knows what they're gonna do? Now they got a strap match this one. So I do think that this ends here. Not ends here, it continues here, but with CM Punk winning. I don't know. How do you even feel about a strap match? I think just the visual of a strap match. I'm like, what is this? Who created this shit? Mankind? It was.
I'm pretty sure it goes a little further beyond.
Probably Dusty Rhodes.
It could have been. It sounded like a Dusty, but I don't have the exact thing. Matter of fact, I could actually look this up here.
I believe it was Dusty Rhodes, like in WCW. I think.
No, it would be way before WCW.
I think it's just the awful concept of a match.
I'm gonna take a look right now.
Whoop that boy. Just whoop his ass.
It's amazing what technology strap match. I like how when I put strap match, it was like strap match meaning. Okay. I'm gonna look this up here, but let's go with this. The next match we got here, we have Cody Rhodes defending the Undisputed Universal Championship against Kevin Owens. I sit here and go, I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I feel like no one expects Cody Rhodes to drop this championship. So here's my question to you gentlemen here. Do we get heel Kevin Owens?
Yes.
Possibly.
Listen, heel have Kevin Owens, face Kevin Owens, mix Kevin Owens. It doesn't matter. He's losing. And wherever Kevin Owens is going to get, he's been on a bad losing streak for these titles for like maybe 3-4 years. It ain't working for him. So I do think that he's getting chances. I don't know. I don't care what kind of Kevin Owens we get. He's not winning this match. I don't see it happening. I just don't.
I don't know if he's turning heel because I feel like Orton's probably going to be the one to turn heel after he loses to Gunther. And it's been foreshadowed for too long. I think people expect Owens to turn, but in reality, it's going to be Orton, probably not Owens. He's going to show some heel tendencies, and probably act like he's going to turn heel, but I think in the long run, he's going to stay baby and Orton turns heel.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that. I'm sorry, I was trying to look up a strap match, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. Let me see right here. Cody, George said Cody. You said that again?
I think it might have been Dusty Rhodes in 1978.
It might have been late 70s, 80s. I think it is definitely Dusty, NWA or something like that. But
I don't think so. Hold on, let me make sure I heard that correctly.
No, what I saw here was 1978 Dusty Rhodes versus Billy Graham was the first one.
Oh, dope. Okay, what was that? Did it say NWA?
I didn't care to look. I just saw the image. I said that's enough for me.
Oh, okay. Good job. Good job.
Apologies.
Smartest man in the room. But George says Cody is retaining. Kevin Owens turns heel. He also said Solo, because I have the TV muted. I'm watching SmackDown, but I have it muted. But George says Solo said he wanted another shot against Cody. And I'll say, Solo, no, sir. You don't deserve another shot. You lost thanks to the OTC Roman Reigns. And we're going to... Come on, we got to throw up the ones, baby.
I'm sorry. I don't take Solo Sikoa seriously anymore. Like,
but I said you are Solo Sikoa.
I'm not the Temu version that Solo is. Like, Solo looks like a freaking off-brand Dancing with the Stars competitor. Like, go away. I don't take anything he does seriously anymore. Like, you've been on a losing streak for God knows how long. You somehow got yourself a title shot where you lost again. Like, where are we going with this?
Oh, you wanted to say something?
No, I agree.
Oh, okay. There we go. You know, I'm actually surprised because I've never seen that on the show with you two. Good job. You was able to finally do that, Jean Baptiste. I mean, it took a few episodes, but good for you. I did want to say here because we were talking about Kevin Owens. I wanted to touch on some things. I told Gene you brought up a really good point about like, hey, do we turn Kevin Owens, but then we have because Randy's turning heel. Like, it's already you talk about seeds planted. What I forget which pay-per-view it is. I'm sorry, because or PLE, where Cody looked at the championship, and that was storytelling right there, where he was like, he's looking at that championship. So it is an interesting point. I did like what they did a week or two ago when they had Kevin Owens and showed all the people he turned on. I thought a few things were a little off because they said he turned on John Cena, and I thought that was wrong. Who else? That was the only one that they got wrong. And the Sammy one at the end, but they just wanted to like gag Sammy because they were like, hey, look, he always turns on Sammy. Okay. He hates Sammy. I thought it was funny, actually. I thought it was some really, really good stuff there.
I laughed because I saw Chris Jericho up there, and I'm just like, "Oh, we really don't care no more." Okay, cool.
I'm on this list,
and I love that. And that's what I love about this era. Like, I hate it when they acted like no one that. I remember when John Cena got hurt. This was like 2008, and Kurt Angle was still with TNA. And when John Cena got into the ring, they just like stopped in the middle of like if a lot of people who did not watch that in 2002, they would be like, who did he face? Who was it? Meanwhile, people like us who watch are like, yo, why did they black out Kurt Angle? He was there. So I like that they're acknowledging, like, hey, we had these people before, you know, like what are we doing? Real quick here, and then we're gonna get to the main event. He says, George saying George Solos. Oh no, I read that. Sorry. George says the Bloodline 2.0 versus the original Bloodline Survivor Series War Game. That's what this all leading up to. He also says Randy looking at the title. Yeah, I can see Randy turn the heel, but the crowd is so into him. They're saying his intro. They love Randy. Randy's been here for a long time. Randy's in a place now that I think Randy could kick a cat, and I would never recommend him to do that, and they would still cheer him. That's the kind of guy Randy Orton is. That's the atmosphere that Randy Orton isn't at. And speaking of Randy,
saying he would suffer the Bobby Lashley, Becky Lynch syndrome.
What's that?
Turn him heel, but basically try to turn him heel, but they're too loved to be turned heel.
Right, like he's going to be a heel, and trust me, Randy's going to do some heel stuff. Randy when he turns on that heel persona, he is one of the best. I remember watching. I didn't finish watching it, or maybe I should just watch it. But they have heels, And they talk about a lot of the great heels. Like Hogan's on that, but he's really good being a heel because he's a piece of trash. So they have one where Randy, and he's a heel. He's showing how he gets into it. He's gonna do everything he can, but the fans love him. Randy been here for 27 years. They love Randy. Randy's our guy. Like, but speaking of Randy, let's get into this main event here. We have, I assume this is gonna be the main event. Gunther, who is defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton. I love the history here.
Why they made him look like he got a unibrow? What the fuck is going on with that picture?
Who you talking about?
Look at Gunther. Don't he look like that unibrow is about to connect real quick, like a spare inch away? Like,
so let me ask you real quick, Jean Baptiste. So you pretty much called him Helga G. Pataki. So let me ask you: would you say this to his face?
Hell no.
Okay, I genuinely, I do want to sit here and say I genuinely love you. Like, you're my brother, so I love you more because you're honest. And I know that you take your time on being honest. You're selective on it. So good job, Anthony Anderson here. So I'm gonna say here again.
Lose a couple pounds. I'm Anthony Anderson. Jesus Christ, I'm okay with that though.
Well, you're Anthony Anderson and Blackish. You're Blackish, Anthony Anderson. But I do want to take the floor here real quick here. I mean, I think we're all in agreement here, but Gunther's not losing the championship. Gunther is going to slap the meat off of Randy Orton. Randy Orton's meat is going to be flying. So I go with Gunther retaining the World Heavyweight Champion. Randy's looking for his meat. So, Jean Baptiste, what do you got here?
I know Randy's losing, but I wonder if they're going to do another controversial loss like they did at King of the Ring, where it's like Randy tries to pin, Gunther's shoulders ain't fully down, but the ref is like, oh, no, I see it this time. Where the fuck was that for Randy? You know what? Kick rocks. Or if Gunther wins and it's like, well, Randy never submitted or he was never really pinned. I wonder if they're going to continue this feud. I'm not sure. I kind of want to see where this goes, but this is going to be one hell of a match.
I think this is it. I don't think that they're going to touch back on this. I think that Randy's just hiccups. Randy's just the right opponent to be his first opponent, and also to establish the kind of championship run that he's going to be having. I mean, think about this. Your first opponent is Randy Orton, and you beat Randy Orton. That's already letting you know, like, the kind of, like, what kind of champion he's going to be, right? Like, a lot of times when they defend their championship, it's against somebody who they built a little bit of momentum, but you're talking about Randy freaking Orton. Randy Orton is a legend in this business. You're talking about first ballot Hall of Fame and multi-time World Heavyweight Champion, former Intercontinental Champion. I mean, he might be a Grand Slam champion. Someone check that to be sure. I don't know, but I don't think they run this back.
He is. Tag team, U.S. Intercontinental, World Heavyweight. And I think he won the WWE title at one point too. Yeah, I think he's 2-time Grand Slam.
Okay. Well, I gotta sit here and say this. I mean, this is the first here. I don't know if this ever happened here, but shout out to you, Gene, because George says something over here. I think he agreed on what you and somebody said. I think Gene is right. I can see some shenanigans in this match. He also mentioned that this is going to be a great match, and I do agree to that. I mean, I thought the match at King of the Ring was good. It was solid. I think I wanted a little bit more. And I think they're going to deliver in this match here. And he also says Randy, the Legend Killer Orton. So, smartest man in the room. You're kind of quiet there. I know you're cooking up in there. So, what do you got here, sir?
No. I mean, I said at the beginning of the show that this is going to be my my match tonight. What I'm looking forward to the most, right? I do think that this will probably be I won't say the only match in the little thing they have going on right now with Gunther, but I think this is a great way to kickstart it, keep it moving. Randy Orton, you lost, move on to somebody else, and Gunther can move on to somebody else as well too, right? So I think it's a good introduction to the way how, like you said before, this is going to define the title reign. How well this match is, how well Gunther role plays with everybody else moving forward, because he, like you, to your point, Jean Baptiste, he brought something out of your new favorite wrestler over there, the former Judgement Day guy. Out of we never saw, right? So he's bringing out like kind of shades of Randy right now that we probably haven't seen in a while. So Gunther, Randy is going to be a great match, great storytelling. There's going to be a fair share of bumps. It is international once again because the last match was international. So I do think that's going to play a big part of this. So it's going to be a banger, and we're going to keep it moving.
I agree.
what George says, yes, Randy did win Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. I think the only thing he didn't do was King of the Ring. But he's pretty much done everything. I mean, you're talking about someone so established into once again to my point. I mean, to beat someone like that and still on top of his game. It's not like Randy Orton. I think this is also something to throw out here. Randy Orton, it's not like Randy Orton's out there and he's just winging it or just, like just what do you call it, pick by numbers. He's really putting in the work there. So I just think that this match is actually going to kill. And I look forward to talking with you boys tomorrow. We're going to be, for the after show review, is going to be myself, Jean Baptiste, and Rich Kings. I want to thank you, gentlemen, again for helping out with the predictions. I want to say thank you, George, for being in the chat. He does ask a question here. He says, what if Bronson Reed comes out on Raw? It says, hey, Gunther, I want a shot at the World Championship. I think Gunther would just laugh.
Too soon. Well, no. I wouldn't say Gunther would laugh. Bronson Reed right now, is not somebody you bat an eye to. Absolutely not. But to pivot off of what Rich King said earlier, Gunther has found a way to bring out, I guess you could say, the best in a lot of the guys he's been facing, because he's brought out the best in Damian Priest. He's bringing out the best in Randy Orton. A Gunther Bronson Reed feud will probably elevate Bronson Reed to a whole new level. Now, I'm not saying Bronson Reed is winning, but he's definitely elevating Bronson Reed to damn near main event status. And if that is the case, then what you got in Gunther is not only do you have a solid champion, but now you have a guy that's actually building main event stars. And that right there,
he's been doing it for a while, though. Think about it.
He has. He definitely has. He's built a lot of. He built Sami Zayn. He definitely built Sami Zayn to a point where, like, even though Sami's a great wrestler, I definitely would say he put Sami Zayn to another one. Chad Gable, definitely another one. Hell yeah, he's been building guys.
He's been like, I think he's been like you say Gunther and this person, you're like, okay, what do we have next? And before he was just doing it in the ring, but now he's doing it on the mic in the ring. And I think I remember when he first came out. I remember me and Ron was talking about the real name drop. Sorry, me and Bad Guy Jack we were talking about him in the beginning and his entrance. That the music got us, like the intimidation factor, right? And he's just like, he has evolved over the years. It's not becoming like almost like the total package, right? So I think he's a definite somebody that has been evolving and getting better. And I think he was probably one of those people like, listen, I'm not going to talk too much. Let me get these other two people over here, and then when it's time, I'm going to unleash. And right now, he's pretty much unleashing on everybody right now.
And he has such a. I just want to touch on two things. When Rich Kings was talking about the entrance of Gunther, just to show you how powerful his entrance was. I'll never forget when he debuted for NXT UK. Someone in the comments said, "Oh my God, they said, "Oh my God, Thanos is here." So he had that presence, and I totally agree with what you're saying about his mic work. Now, I'm not gonna say he's flashy like The Rock and say like all the guys with the one-liners and stuff like that, right? But when he talks, he's literally saying he's talking about how he's gonna dismantle you in so many different ways. And I think it works so well for Gunther. Like Gunther, one of the things someone pointed out that they said they liked about Gunther, and it made me go like, wow, that is unique. When Gunther was still the Intercontinental Champion, he would get on the announce table and talk about, I'm going to kill you. He said, Chad Gable, I'm going to embarrass you in front of your daughter. He said, Sammy, you're an embarrassment. Yeah, good job. Like Gunther has really evolved a lot. And he's doing a great job, and that's why I think he should be someone who has a long run. And when I say long run, I'm not saying give him the title for like 2 years. I'm just saying let him run.
Well, no, not 2 years, but I do say right now, Gunther's going to end up, whoever is taking the title of Gunther's going to build him to be something. Because one thing Gunther's been doing on the mic, which has been amazing, is when he takes it to a personal level, it's like he awakens some type of beast in the other person to make him go all out. Like, all right, I need to beat your ass. Like when he did it with Damian Priest would just come out with a mic in his hand, say, you know what, fuck it, and just punch him in the face, and they're brawling. And I'm just like, what? Randy Orton, he got personal. Randy Orton, 8 2 RKOs for his struggles. So it's like, whoever does take that title off Gunther's going to make that one hell of a blood feud and make it real personal to a point where you're going to look and be like, nah, he got to take that title off of him now. This is disrespectful to a whole nother level.
Like this Gunther drop in the time, for example. and gaining it back the next pay-per-view. Like, you know how Triple H was doing it back in the day? He lost the belt, and then all of a sudden he's back with a belt on my finger. Like, what happened? Like, what was the purpose?
With Gunther, you could see it happening because with Gunther's literally almost a perfect package in a champion. Like, you got a guy who can wrestle his ass off. His mic work is like you said, it's not the Rocks or the Miz's or anything of that nature, but his mic work, making things personal, kind of adds more layers to the story. And you're building stars. You're a champion that's building more and more stars. Like, anybody who steps into the ring with Gunther, you're now elevated to a whole new level because Gunther's just that guy right now.
Gunther is that guy.
And I don't think nobody can disagree with that. He's literally that guy. So you step into the ring with Gunther, you have a feud with Gunther, you've automatically elevated yourself to a whole new level if you can perform and keep up with him.
I wanted to touch on this. So when you say this, what if Gunther did that to Brock? Meaning, like, beat him? I'm sorry, I just wanted more clarity on this before I gave an answer to it. I mean, I still stand by this.
With Brock? If he got personal with Brock is taking the gloves off. Like, the match is going to start with Brock just like, all right, you need a old-fashioned American Canadian ass whooping right now. Come here, boy.
You know, so they said that originally he was supposed to be the one to face Gunther at WrestleMania. Now I don't know how that feud would have went, but I still stand by this. Gunther was going to beat Brock.
It might have been a series. It might have been a series where Gunther wins it 2-1.
No, I don't think Brock was ever taking that strap off Gunther.
Not even taking the strap off. I think if the first encounter was a intercontinental match, Brock would have lost, probably beat him the next pay-per-view. And I guess to break the tie, end all be all, Gunther would have came out on top.
Okay, no, George was saying, I mean, you nailed it on the head here, Gene. But he said, trash talking to Brock. He says taking Gunther to he would have took him to Suplex City, but Gunther would have won the feud.
Nah, Suplex City would have been out the question. Lesnar was dropping elbows on his ass. Like, you're getting the Randy Orton treatment. Come here, bro. Like, he's taking those gloves.
I think Brock is smart enough to know what business. Brock is a smart businessman. I mean, he was the same guy who said, "Yeah, let Goldberg beat me." He knew there was money into that. Gunther beating him. I mean, it's not like let's be real. No one's gonna sit here and go up to Brock like, "Hey, you're a loser." You're not doing that. Like, let's be real.
I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Nope. So let's be real. Brock is no one's approaching him.
I said this once before. I once said, if I ever met Brock Lesnar in a dark alley, I'm running. I have no chance in hell. Gunther can be added to that list. I want no smoke with Gunther.
There you go.
Like, this man, no, I'm good. I'm straight. Let those two handle that shit.
And with that said, that is our predictions, and we're going to be back here tomorrow at the 4. I mean, it's a 1 o'clock. We got Giovanni Da Vinci, and that's not even Da Vinci. Giovanni Vinci. They're doing a little thing for him right now. But with all that said, that is our predictions. We're going to be back here tomorrow. I want to thank you, gentlemen. Real quick, let's give your plugs and stuff of what you do and anything like that. Social medias, if you want to share it and stuff like that.
Catch me on Twitch this weekend where I'll be streaming Black Myth Wukong. Apparently one of the hottest games that ever come out. So take a ride with me and let's see the adventures of the original Monkey King, the man that inspired Dragon Ball's Goku in general. So join me on Twitch this weekend, Saturday, 5 o'clock after we do this show.
I'm sorry, Rich Kings. I don't know. Was you singing? Was it karaoke time? What was going on there?
Yo, when he said "Ride with Me," I just thought about Nelly's "Ride with Me" song. Like, what's that? Country Grammar? I don't know what song it was, but it was on Country Grammar. You know, not for nothing. I know he got into. Never mind. I'll leave Nelly alone. But I think he did a little too much ride with me because there was the police behind him. But I'm so sorry. Rich Kings. I always give you the floor about where they can find you, and I have to take it for you, but you can catch you here on the Big Pop Theory podcast. Smartest man in the room here, folks. He's right here to break down stuff. He's the one who I think it's the perfect balance. I think I'm the madman. I'm wild. Jean Baptiste, you come from the left. Is that the left? I'm going to say, yeah. No, you're my right? Okay, you're my right.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure. I promised I paid attention to my Magic School Bus. But you can catch him here.
I'm glad you did, because I didn't.
I always sit here and said Miss Frizzle should have got arrested because can you imagine you just shrink a bunch of kids? Like, do you have a license for this shrinking? But I sit here and say you can catch me here for the Big Pop Theory podcast. We're trying to add some YouTube content. It's an audio podcast. Sawyer wishes she could be here, but she couldn't make it. But she sends her love, and we'll be doing an audio podcast with her. She won't be on tomorrow because around that time she's working, but we'll still hear her thoughts about the pay-per-view or PLE. I'm sorry, I'm so accustomed to just saying pay-per-view after all these years still. And I'm gonna be back here with you gentlemen. I do the NXT review show on Unpopular Review. I'm gonna be talking a lot of wrestling this week. I'm gonna be doing No Mercy. That comes on. That should be a fun George trying to get a fine. Should be mad when Finn loses to Damian Priest. She's not gonna
like, what's up, sweater?
Yeah, I can't deal with the sweaterverse, man. But anyway, that's the show. I'm going to drink some orange juice because I'm totally fucked up. So, I don't think I'm supposed to say that. I'm totally messed up. So,
I'm drinking more booze. Happy holidays, everybody.
He says happy holidays. Wave to the people. Let's say goodbye. Yeah, there we go. Bye, folks.